registration, failing the first term, and they're begging for another one. Sing for them, sing for them.
Check, check, check. You know it's a beat to the bling representative for DJ Soulkaholic. You run the place, you lock the place, keeping it real all the time. Boogie and dance it straight.
The leader don't listen, so they divided it. They lie for the people. So many things they promise they go do. They say $700 not enough money. They go give 1,000 to them money. Soon as they get in power, the money program over. They go in the wrong way. One come in DC. They go in the wrong way. Cannot run this country. They go in the wrong way. They say the leader don't listen. They go in the wrong way. So they divided it. I hear they say that they love the culture. The worst carnival we had in Grenada. 4 years now and things ain't getting better. And they keep pointing finger at one another. Carnival come and carnival go. Problems to pay price money, you know. They go in the wrong way. Mash up NDC. They go in the wrong way. Cannot run the country.
This is where I take the opportunity to say a pleasant good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen.
They go in the wrong way.
And how are we doing this afternoon?
They go in the wrong way. In fighting for soul.
Madam, make all you see me before I say that.
Minus of the rape.
Pleasant good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen.
Behaving to ignore.
I'm hoping that each and every one of you guys are having yourself a blessed one.
In Parliament, unemployment very high in this country. NDC, send back the CCC. Teachers and nurses ain't getting salary. No proper medical facilities. Crime is on the rise, you know. Young people killing more than before. Yellow. They go in the wrong way. One come NDC. They go.
Wherever you are right now, it's a beautiful, beautiful Tuesday afternoon.
They say the leader don't listen.
I am your host, Royalty James, for another wonderful one.
Divided it. They used to talk about corruption.
Good day to all the persons out there.
That was only an.
What constituency are you in right now?
The money they receive on the
I want to get all you in a little like election vibes today, you know.
towards the shut up.
You hear the song I'm playing?
They stop the school feeding program like this government don't give a damn. Sing this song. They go in the wrong way. Mash up any
It is the 6th day
wrong way. Cannot run this country.
of January 2026.
Say the leader too harden. They go in the wrong way. So they divided it. They go in the wrong way. Change you want and change you get. They go in the wrong way. And do nothing for St. Patrick's yet. They go in the wrong way. Some people hungry. They go in the wrong way. Uncle Tilly don't want Venezuelan money. They go in the wrong way. All what they say about Dr. Pete. They go in the wrong way. You getting salary on time and food to eat. They go in the wrong way. Jerry Kuma
So pleasant one.
telling the wind of change to begin. They go in the wrong way. Peace and Scholar could tell you. They go in the wrong way. They fed up for true. They go in the wrong way. Don't mind fuss with a tongue tie. They go in the wrong way. He and all go tell them bye-bye. They go in the wrong way. So when you vote in, use your brain. They go in the wrong way. Don't make that mistake and ball again. They go in the wrong way. NDC people saying it. They go in the wrong way. Uncle Tilly don't win in easy. They go in the wrong way. Yellow. They go in the wrong way. Yellow. They go in the wrong way.
Check. You know it's a beat to the
So yes, ladies and gentlemen, a profitable one day coming out from Eli Gilbert when he would have remixed is "You Going the Wrong Way." Sorry. Yes. So I'm hoping that you guys are having yourself a blessed one. I want to introduce this one very early this afternoon so that many of you guys can get used to it, especially to the folks out there in Victoria, St. Mark's.
It's a new year and the football action has begun. Royalty James, in collaboration with the St. Mark's Organization for Development and the St. Mark's Football League, proudly present the Andrew Monroe Knockout Football Competition. Mark your calendars for the kickoff on Saturday, January 17th at 7 p.m. at the Alston George Park, featuring 8 spirited teams competing for glory and close to $5,000 in cash and other amazing prizes. Don't miss the thrills, the skills, and the the unforgettable moments. Remember, this event will be contested on Saturday nights only under the lights. Be there to witness the passion and excitement. The Andrew Monroe Knockout Football Competition, where champions are made.
All right, so my folks out there in St. Mark's, it is now official, and I want to say to each and every one of you guys, it is an initiative that came to mind, and I really did want to get this one up and running, and so it is now a reality. Myself, along with the St. Mark's Organization Development and the St. Mark's Football League, we are going to be doing a knockout competition in the name of Andrew Monroe, brother, most affectionately known. And so we have had so many persons already on board, and we want to thank you guys so very much for your support and love. Even if the games would be named after Mr. Monroe, it is a memorable and honorable competition, because at the end of the competition, we are going to be honoring, and you will be hearing many other names that have contributed somehow or the other to football in St. Mark's. So we have things like the Steve Mack, yes, most defensive player, and we may have other names. You know, we are presently getting suggestions, and sometimes we call a name and we hear, you know, that person was good and that person was good. And so we really want to honor many of the persons, even down to our fans. We have a wonderful, spectacular one in terms of fans and their giveaways. So at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, we want to start with this wonderful initiative. I am geared to try attempt to do a few of those promotions this year. And so I'm asking for many of your support wherever you are, near or far, even if you're a St. Markian or you're overseas and maybe not from St. Mark's and you want to support the initiative, feel free to do so. You can also make any form of confirmation or inquiries through myself or Mr. George Philip, and his number I can disseminate. I didn't get confirmation to do so today, but however, maybe you're from another parish and you say that's a good one, and you want to give some form of assistance or, you know, help in the initiative. Definitely, it will be very welcoming. All right. Now, I want to first start today's program with a few things that are not jumping into conversation as yet. But first, I want to apologize about yesterday. What would have happened yesterday, for those of you guys who do knows the social media do's and don'ts, when you schedule the program for it to start at a particular time, you must give the time and date. And so what happened yesterday, I would have did everything but change the date or put the date for today. So today's date, not yesterday's, today's date would have popped up, and I did not change that. And so it was scheduled for the 6th and not the 5th, which was yesterday's date. And hence the reason why some persons had issues as it relates to the timing. And so it happened in a time when persons would have already reached out and say, hey, this is what we're experiencing. And then I immediately identified the issue. And so I placed it on for 7 instead of 6. And so I do apologize about that happening. Yes. Going further, I want to congratulate Mr. Cox. For those of you guys who took a listen this morning into Mr. Cox's presentation, I want to say, as per usual, another great deliberation. And so you hear all the ideas and thoughts that he would have shared as it relates to the country, as we are presently faced with another year with this administration. And so he gave lots of his own opinions. And so even in some circumstances, he shared suggestions, which is always welcoming. We again want to remind the general public, hey, you guys need to get registered. Get registered. Call and find out names that you see that have popped up. And let me say something to you guys. This is not a time where we are going to mark persons' names. Okay, this is our NNP. Okay, this person supports NNP, and we are going to turn our backs. Let me tell you something. We have lost 2 elections here in Grenada, 2008 and the last one, 2020, due to the fact that persons are giving the okay that I am an NNP, and they're not showing up to vote on election day. Yes, we seen that effect and it caused us the St. John's seat last general election. There are persons, oh, Isaiah NNP, don't worry, man, don't worry, you have your vote. And mind you, they're genuinely NNP supporters. But we are not going out and reminding them when we're going through our walkthroughs, we're not going back by them again. Yes, we are persons that we have persons that we want to cause to vote for the party, and then we want to reassure our supporters that, hey, we are still here with you. So even if you know Jane Joe is an NNP past ancestry, that don't forget, yeah, find out from her whether or not she have a friend or family, maybe outside of the constituency, that you want them to call, so she might tell you, you don't have a cousin in Guave, and you know she don't register yet. So we from the office can contact St. John's and say, there is Jack Jane living there. Go there, check her, she don't register yet. Get her to register. This is the kind of integration, this is the kind of communication that we need, because we realize that them just getting off the ball. If we listen to them, there are persons now still advising to get the PRO team together and get this together when we are way advanced in terms of that. Yes, we have already started our walkthroughs, we have started our meetings, we have started our canvassing, and so it's just to continue. Right now, it's all about picking up pace. We're already going. So all we have to do is now pick up pace. There is nothing about fearing anything that we already are doing. NNP supporters, let's stop with the complacency. Let's stop sitting back and ball, oh, well, we win already, and we win that constituency already. Yes, we win it, but let us win it assuringly. No 7 and 12. Let us win and reclaim those constituencies in full performances, going out there and gaining each and every one. Let us not get complacent. We're seeing persons are gravitating, persons are speaking out. Let us not be complacent, all right? Now, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I also want to advise you guys in going forward. Something that came to mind that we need to do. Now, our young people are a tentative group of persons. Yes, and there are times they may say, me, I don't study politics, I don't know about politics, whatever. No, this is a time when you hear an individual say that, be it young person or old. When you hear somebody says that, it is important that you immediately pull your kit of convincing. For some people, that is what they want. They want to be convinced. They want to be convinced. Persons that are doing the walkthrough, this is not an opportunity for an argument. We are not out there to argue, right? The facts are there. The facts are there. Know your constituency. You are not representing the entire Grenada. Know your constituency. Know the work that has been done. Know the representation that have been there. And I'm saying to you, every constituency, we have been there for the past, the previous governance. So we have all the records. We have all the records. If you're going to St. Mark's, and I'm telling you, if I'm doing a walkthrough to St. Mark's, if I reach in industry, I can tell you of byroads that was done. I can tell you of in engagement that was made in those areas. Resource, Samaritan, the development of the Samaritan Presbyterian School, Fountain, Digo Peace, roads that was done in those areas. Yes, the bushing program and its effectiveness in those areas. The Union Police Station that was developed, the medical station that was developed in those areas. If I get to Duquesne, I can tell you as it relates to the fish market in Duquesne that was developed in those areas. Nonpareil, the lighting of the Nonpareil's Park, the daycare center and the preschool. I can tell you about the roads, joint roads that was done in those areas. Development and infrastructural development, be it human resource or any otherwise. Waltham, the St. Mark's Secondary School is development. Yes, the fishing and the fishing lockers at Waltham for the Waltham fishermen and women. So that is what you have to do. You have to know the area you're in, know the development, reiterate the facts. reiterate the facts, know what it is in the area, and know that you are not there to argue, you are there to prove that, hey, we are the best choice. All right? And that is what is important. Moving on, I want to extend congratulations to officers of the Royal Grenada Police Force who yesterday acquired or attained a superior rank. Yes? And so I have many of friends, I would have posted their names on social media that I'm very close with. And so I want to extend congratulations genuinely to each and every one of them. Every one of them, starting with Superintendent Rondell Batiste. This was a gentleman that held me by the hand when I got into the RGPF and have always earned my respect in every way possible. Congratulations, sir. Remember, he was one person who stayed on the rank of corporal for a little while, but from since then have been upward mobility, and so I want to extend congratulations to the now Superintendent, Mr. Rondell Batiste. All right, now let's start our conversation for today, ladies and gentlemen. And first off, I want to play this clip right here.
Grenadians paying annual motor vehicle license fees may have been surprised by an apparent $50 increase. An official from the Ministry of Finance clarified that the fee is not new, but rather a reintroduction. The $50 increase was first announced in the 2024 budget presentation, as indicated by Minister for Finance Dennis Cornwall.
Vehicle license fee to be increased by $50 across all vehicles type to support the improved road maintenance. Mr. Speaker, the number of vehicles on our nation's road have increased significantly in the last 10 years, necessitating increased cost of road maintenance. The revenues collected from the policy, roughly $2.6 million, will go towards supporting road maintenance.
According to the official, this pronouncement, though not backed by law, was implemented by the Ministry of Finance, leading to increased vehicle licensing fees beginning in 2024. When the law took effect in July of that year, the government opted to offer a $50 credit to all vehicle operators instead of undertaking the administrative burden of refunding payments already made. Therefore, operators did not pay the additional $50 in 2025. However, the official stated that for this year, the fee is effectively reintroduced. Reporting for GBN News, I am Deidre Seeley.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, we heard all this spectacle during the budget debate and budget presentation of things happening. Now, I want you to understand clearly it is amazing the way how we allow politicians, and I'm generalizing here, to manipulate us through headlines and snippets in the belief that they are performing at their best. So basically, when this happened, and let me play it back slowly.
Though not backed by law, was implemented by the Ministry of Finance, leading to increased vehicle licensing fees beginning in 2024. When the law took effect in July of that year, the government opted.
So let me say what happened as it relates to its legislation in 2024. The Road Traffic Amendment of First Schedule Regulation 2024 stated, and shall come into effect on the first day of July 2024. Right? In this regulation means the Road Traffic 289 A. And that Amendment Schedule Act said the first schedule of the Act is amended to repeal Part 1 and substituting, therefore, the following parts. Right?
Effect in July of that year, the government opted to offer a $50 credit.
Right. So here's what government did then. Whereas the minister purposes to amend the first schedule to the act to increase the existing annual motor vehicle license fee by $50 across all types of vehicles. And whereas it is expanded that the Road Traffic Amendment Schedule Regulation 2004, which seeks to amend first schedule to act by approving by the House of Representation or the House of Representatives.
Credit to all vehicle operators instead of undertaking the administrative burden of refunding payments already made.
Right. So government went along at that time and they basically said, you know what? It's okay. We would not take the administrative fees. The legislation gave that. So they didn't want to burden persons by saying, okay, bring back the $50 or you have to pay $50. So government took that effect.
Therefore, operators did not pay the additional $50 in 2025. However, the official stated that for this year, the fee is effective.
So, now that they didn't pay it, government's reasoning is that, okay, they didn't pay. So let us take it back. Because, let me read the public notice of the motor vehicle license fee for 2026 licensing period. In St. George's, Grenada on the 5th, that is Friday last, the Inland Revenue Department advises the public that the updated motor vehicle license fee under the RTA with the Road Traffic Act, and that is under the SRO number 16 of 2004, number 6 of 2004, the regulation was gazetted that took legal effect on the 1st of July 2024, providing an increase in the annual license fees across the applicable vehicle categories. The division acknowledged that due to the administrative oversight in 2004, the revised fee was appealed to the vehicle owners prior to the official commencement date. The issue was addressed in 2025 through corrective adjustment, and the $50 increase was not applied in 2025. Vehicle owners are therefore advised that all motor vehicles fees for 2026 licensing period will be charged according to the legal established fee structured and has been in effect from July 1st, 2024. The Inland Revenue apologizes for the confusion caused and reaffirms its commitment to the road traffic and the proper application of all taxes and fees. So they messed up based on what they're saying. The conflict basically caused all this. And so they're at the point now that the justification is that that law was there long. The law was there long. Why look at like all the surprise? It is amazing, ladies and gentlemen, the justification that are being used when these persons falter. You messed up. You caused the confusion. Motorists, if you're implementing legislation, despite time, space, or whenever it takes effect, persons pay from that time. Right? It took effect from July 1st, 2024. And listen why that happened, in my belief. Because the licensing period for 2024 or every year ends in June. It ends in June. So they're realizing that, hey, but no, we wouldn't collect anything substantiable if we put it and it came into effect from July 1st. Because July 1st, licensing period done for motor vehicles. So there was no full collection during that period. From July to December of that year, nothing really happened. Yeah, in 2025, whether or not the legislation was effective or not, then they didn't pay much heed to it. They did what they did, and again, realized that they faltered in terms of the collective amount. Because they're estimating that it is $26 million collection. And that collection gives to the maintenance of road. So even if that collection would have happened in its true sense in 2025, Yes, because they say the issue was addressed in 2025 through corrective adjustment. And the $50 increase was not applied to the licensing fee. Right? So on both ends, they messed up. So when it was implemented on July 1st, licensing period done. In 2025 again, the adjustment was made, as they stated, the issue was addressed. The issue was addressed in 2025, through corrective adjustment. However, that $50 increase was not applied to the fees. So even if the legislation is there, right, and it came into effect in July, right, in 2025, you did not make the application to be part of the fees that has to be paid. Again, your fault. So what should have happened? Right? Whatever amendments that should have been done in 2025. You failed in 2025. You come now in 2026 and you reintroduce, or more or less, I shouldn't say reintroduce, you now enforce the legislation that you placed in July of 2024 without reminding the general public. I mean, any good person, okay, you go into a shop. The shopkeeper tell you, from July, you would have to pay $3 more for saltfish. Saltfish is $10. You expecting to pay $13 after July. And so you keep going to the shop. She keep taking $10. End of the year, January comes, you say, well, maybe she will start taking the $13. She continue for the whole year, taking $10. At the end of December, she remember, oh, but I'm supposed to be taking $13. What any good person would do. And I'm talking about a saltfish seller, a shopkeeper. The proper ethics is to do what? Would you just, when the child come, you send her back, or you send him back, or you send back the lady and say, I tell you what's $13, go and get the $13. Or you inform my lady, I know for the past year and a half, I didn't take the $3 that I was supposed to take. But it would be taken now that we're starting a new year. That is just moral ethics. And if government does not have that, for the people in whom they serve, and something that simple, that government could not have come, even during the budget debate, to take a time off to say, based on the legislation that have passed in July of 2024, we would have made that proper adjustment, and so persons would see that effect taking its place in January of 2026. Government does not have that level of ethics to our people to simply remind us, you had the budget presentation that was just a month back. So nobody could not slide a paper and say, don't forget to remind them that we are going to return with the $50 that would be charged on the licensing fee. Well, you stand up in budget and all you remind, things happening. And now, the public's the boss is that, well, it there long. We put it there long we had it. That is his justification. And that is how anybody will feel. It's like you're telling me, oh, well, I could charge you now because long it there. And you see, we don't look at those simple things, ladies and gentlemen, when we elect people to govern us. It is the same thing with, I elect you, you tell us about you go fix road, then you use that same breath and come back and tell us where we getting the money to fix road. When I elected you, When you said, vote for me, I go fix the road. When I elect you, you telling me we are getting money to fix road. You say make everybody permanent. It's easy to do. A stroke of a pen. 12 months. Regularization. When you get into there, you're telling people, oh, it's a difficult task and it would affect and if we don't look at those things, ladies and gentlemen, when we are assessing this administration, they are making excuses that now that they're in governance, that we didn't say that. Yeah? One particular minister stand up and say, they never say, the prime minister never say he billing 500 houses. He said the prime minister never said that. We had to pull tape. Well, that evening, I feel every NNP pulled that tape. Every NNP. Because you know what is happening? These persons are not accepting. They are not accepting those blatant errors as it relates to their incompetence. It is your issue, your fault. And then when you do it, and then the public speaks on it, you are making it seem like, oh, well, are you pulling all kind of book now? Job must play. Job in parliament. And then Grenadians have to play job helter-skelter. And then you're talking about, oh, it too early. Understand the effects of governance and power. What you say. The effectiveness about what you say. How you say what you say. And then when the public speaks, you ball about, oh, not so, and we could pull that piece of law, yeah, carnival laws, and then, but you say job must play. And ladies and gentlemen, I am just referencing, different things where this administration says things, does things, and they are not accepting that based on what they say and what they do are causing the ripple effects. We are not against government's implementation of the fees. We are saying that there are ethical and moral ways to do it. That when people get to now know, you say, no, well, he dey long. It is a long. I'm certain that persons have been working at places and up to this date, you have to remind people, hey, there is a fee for X, Y, or Z. There's an injection that you take in ever so often, but however, if some persons look at the documents, when they pay for it, they see it is a fee for it. The license period is up, it's coming up. It's on, I believe it starts, or started. Tell me, what was wrong in informing the general public as it relates to the licensing fee? And its increase. Everything is an excuse. Everything is an excuse. And you see, when they use them excuses, it is laughable. I had to laugh at them. Example, last evening, the Prime Minister claims that journalists aren't turning up to his press conferences. Watch. People. Anytime in life, you meet a person or persons that cannot accept the reality of ineffectiveness or effectiveness, they are a difficult person to deal with. This Prime Minister clearly stated that the press conference are only going to be on a need-to-know basis. This is the same Prime Minister that uttered the words that information to the general public through press conferences are going to be on a need-to-know basis. Right? So if there is something that the populace needs to know on a need-to-know basis, the Prime Minister will inform. When questioned, no, you're saying journalists are not turning up to these press conferences. Now, in light of this, it shows two things, ladies and gentlemen. One, which we know is a blatant lie, because I'm sure if the media houses are aware that there is a press conference, most persons would attempt to get their persons there. And two, if it is factual that the media houses are not showing up at press conferences, Papa oi, crapo smoke we pipe. Because it means that even the media houses are not enthused to inform the general public as it relates to knowledge that are being extended to us by the governance or government of the day. Makes it even worse. It means that the media houses don't want to hear what all you have to say. It's like they're tired. That is what you're telling me? Because I don't understand why you stand and say this. Well, our dear sister Linda Strickland, I'm taking the excerpt from her page, which she says, no media personnel or journalist would say too much information. That was a bold lie. Such language will come from those who love to hide information and lie to journalists or reporters. How could the Prime Minister say journalists not turning up to his news conferences? Another example, to twist the truth, providing inaccurate information. That is a piece of rotten propaganda. Compulsive liar, man. Give her excuse, they will listen. And then there are persons now under those media houses or under those persons that are saying that. And they say, oh, all you that don't want to go, the Prime Minister want to talk. About what? About what? What have you been saying? What have you been saying? What is need to know from government? When last government would have called any press conference and I would want to know who are the media houses? Call them out. You don't lie on people and market and in Maurice Bishop Airport and say already they're not showing up to work, so you don't want to give them bonus. No, you're lying on the media houses and say they don't want to show up at your press conferences. You lie. You lie. Stop lying on our media houses here. Media houses thirsty for information. Thirsty for information. They read according to the local parlance. They read. You will call Linda Strickland and Callistra Faria and other persons, Wendy Edmond and all these persons for news, and they will tell you, no, you're mad. These people are in this media house, this media thing too long. They're greedy for information. But you are not giving. So stop lying. You are not giving. Your silence is loud on many issues. It seems like your biggest press conference has become DM with the PM. That is where we're getting to know a lot of things. That is where we're getting to know a lot of things. We thought the podcast was simply to basically exalt your portfolio as Prime Minister, but that is where we're getting to know things. That is where your media room is. That is your press conference, you're calling it? Where any other person would call and say, hey, thanks for building the road. Thanks, you're the sweetest Prime Minister. That's what you want to hear. You don't want the pertinent question to be asked to you. So you don't go in and do press conference. I'm lying. You want to hear Mr. Mitchell, you is a nice, I love you, I want to see you. Papi show, that's what you want to hear. But those persons who are trained in the field to ask you a question, you ain't going to put yourself up for them. No. You have been very selective as it relates to your information that is being exerted. You're taking out photograph and it's like you're looking at the camera, you're seeing it. Hey, make us take out a picture, let me go. Your expressions are not there, and we're seeing it. You don't want to share information. We have to find out. America asked us to put a radar here. We have to find out these things. Huh? We're hearing now, well, I have to say it's allegation that somebody at the airport resigned. I don't know. I don't know. You have two areas last year, pertinent areas. Some technical advisor and somebody else resigned. No word from government. No word from the ministry in which they resigned from. Huh? No word. The whole press conference when, Sheldon not to pay monies for cell phone. That is what all you want to share. Shit. Stupidness all you want to share. Sorry for my language. That is what you guys want to share. But the pertinent information, you don't. Last night you're talking about the Venezuela issue and CARICOM, and it's like you're falling in syrup. You see you? You're mentally fatigued because you're wondering, what lie again can I tell? What I could say to them for they go believe. I take out picture, a picture window, I walk, I wear slipper, I wear jersey without back. All kind of thing I do. Nothing. You wonder, what you could pull out from the back again. What? And so, ladies and gentlemen, we see constantly. We want to know about the nurses. You see that I'm telling you, you don't want to go to the media because I want to ask questions like this. Give us an update. The people that came to make the assessment with the hospital, what is the results? What is our results on the national health insurance? What is our assessment? People, we have to lay it back. Grenadians, there are questions to be asked that are not being asked. And the persons who are responsible for giving answers, they ain't giving until you ask them. Our health system, what is our update on the probable privatization? What is our update? What has been the assessment? What has been the growth? What has been that? And more so, I have the question, what is the update as it relates to our official works? January 1st is here. And we have heard nothing. Then again, our dear sister Linda Stricker to the rescue. Although they amended the Fisheries Act and the regulation, Grenada has not averted the first ban as imposed by the United States, which went into effect on the 1st of January 2026. As a result, Grenada's fishers or fish exporters and processors are unable to ship any of fish product to the United States. On the 29th of August 2025, the U.S. announced the federal registration that Grenada was one of the 12 states that did not apply for the comparability findings as required under the Marine Mammal Protection Act import provision. In November of 2025, Marine Affairs Minister Lennox Andrew and Adrian Thomas, leader of government business in the upper house, told the parliament that it was the government's hope that the amendments would avert the ban. In a 2nd January 2026 press release, the Minister of the Blue Economy confirmed that Grenada successfully submitted a complete reapplication for a comparability finding through the NOAA, International Information, and the IAICRS before January 1st, 2026 implementation date. The NOA informally acknowledged receipt of Grenada's reapplication and review process is currently underway. The NOA has advised that the timing of a final determination will depend on the completion of its legal, scientific, and administrative review process. The release expands that the government has taken decisive steps to address the issues identified by the NOA. The release also said that the government recognized that the significant economic and social importance of fishery sectors and remain committed to protecting fishers' livelihood and export market access, strengthening sustainable fishing management, and ensuring compliance with internal trades and conservation standard. Right? Fisher folks and stakeholders are encouraged to continue complying with reporting and monitoring requirements as the measures are critical to securing a positive outcome, the release instructed. Following the announcement of the ban, the Minister of Marine Affairs said it's working towards having the ban lifted before 2027. The minister is working collaboratively with stakeholders, legal experts, and partners to restore access to the U.S. seafood market in 2006 and uphold Grenada's reputation of reasonable marine stewardship. That release was disseminated via government's information system in an early 2025 release. Ladies and gentlemen, have you heard government's conversation surrounding such an important issue? Do answer. No. No. That is it. No. Government, from since September 2025, though have been making attempts, what is the reassurance have they given to our fisher folks? What is it? So men and women are out there attempting to get their cash, and when they come back home, the most that can happen is maybe send it out to our local consumers and probably regionally. The fact is, in terms of the economics behind it, once the US do purchase, we have a better chance of an economic turnover. We're talking 2 to 1. $7 a pound when you go to the shop or the vendor's market, $7. You sell it in America, $7. It's $14. $14 goes to $15. But what has government done? What have we heard from them? And no pretty press conferences, and no nice jacket and tie. Because why, ladies and gentlemen? Government feels the effects. Government feel threatened. This administration feel threatened to approach our people. Believe me when I tell you that. When this government is in fault, they don't come to us. Whenever they falter, they don't come to us. Remember, I said that to you. Whenever this government realizes that they fail, they just put something somewhere. And when the general public said to talk about it, they pull it so and they tell you, we depose it. So you see like the $50 thing? Immediately, they throw it up. Yesterday being Monday, people started to talk about it. They said they throw it up Friday. Friday was a release. That's when the general public knew. Could you imagine this? Now, if people that have elected an administration cannot get justifiable answers and reasoning, because let me tell you something. Check on your finger, and if you get, it does not take a handful, where this administration stands up and say, we did not get it right. We are wrong. The Prime Minister speaks. he blames the police. If the police speak, they blame the civilians. If the minister speak, he blames the PS. If the PS speak, he blames the union. That is what is going on in Grenada. When NDC speaks, they blame NNP. When an MP speaks, he blames the supporters within the community. They never take responsibility. Never. It is always somebody else's fault. Like last night. Again. Well, not last night, this morning. I was amazed that the Grenadian populace get to know that the Prime Minister has instructed or he gave instructions to the Port Authority to remove trawler vessels from the Caribbean. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's an ongoing issue. We accept. We accept. It's an issue that me, myself, I have always said, I believe this is not the place for our trawlers. Go on the Caranach to the trawler owners. Ask them if the government ever came to them, or anybody representing any authority, whether port or anybody else, prior to that announcement last night, and anybody asked them to move their trawlers. People, there are ways to do things. We are not dogs here. We are not dogs. We're not bulls that you're afraid you to come and say something and we go boot you. When government is doing things, you must find some moral ethics about it. You meet with a few of them, you say, this is why we want to do that. We are coming up with that issue. This is the issue we've been faced with. We're doing it. Blah, blah, blah. This is. You all have 2 weeks, 21 days, 10 days. Government, I make an announcement last night. I show persons who have listened to the announcement last night when I said on the Behind the Headlines program that I gave the instruction to the Port Authority to move trawlers. That is the backup, you know. That is the backup, you know. So if trawler owners decide they're giving trouble now, come on. Over the Christmas season, we saw the road blockage to assist vendors. Watch, let me tell you something. Listen to me, people. Government's role in any country, and I've always said that, you've heard me say that before, is not to fix everything. Government can't fix everything. Learn that. But with the effect of his people, and sometimes with the public outburst, you must implement things to cushion an effect. That is a fact. Government may not be able to stop inflation. That is a global thing that is happening. But you ought to be able to say, well, you know what? Our VAT is at 50. Let's bring it down to 10, 11. Now, these are ways in which you implement things that can sway the full effect of consumers. So there are times persons would say, you know what, boy, when I order my clothes and it comes through the port, I have to pay $18 to clear it. Right? And I have to sell it for $90, $120. I have my visa. Let me go up to America and purchase it and come back down with it myself. Right? It's not a bad downtown. I'm paying a jersey for $10. If I come and I sell it for $40, $50, that I'll get through because $10, 10 US, $25, $50 for a jersey, I'm coming off still. That is simply, and you, as the person wanting to build your business, you are basically cushioning the effect. You can really change the prices on the port. You can change the prices as it relates to freight and all of things. You can do it. But as a business owner, you go say, you know what? Let me do that. So hence the reason why sometimes you have businesses doing sales. Because they understand for consumers, it is really, it is difficult. And the only way to aid is it's giving them back in some way or the other. But this is an administration that uses the justification. Man, it high all over the world. We ain't doing nothing. We can't do nothing. You have to take it. You telling me government needed to implement that $50? Like they needed to implement that $50? Really? In 2024, when it was implemented, the Grandlands Main Road, if it was costing then $5 million, how much is it costing now? All because you speak of progress. You speak of development. And it comes with an effect. But you are affecting, we are already affected by the road's bad condition. We are affected by what could be a probable health hazard. Now we are affected by paying tax to fix it. So we really affected the pandemic. Not that it have affected us based on its progress. It has become a pandemic. Because sooner or later, well, not sooner or later, you just attempted to divert traffic in other places in terms of inconvenience. So we are accepting that progress comes with inconveniences. But not when you lay it out and we back now as if, okay, all you want progress, so take it in all form and all side and all shape. No. Yes, we want progress. But at the same time, let we take it one at a time now. We get all three one time. We get the bad road condition. We get in the health hazard. And now we getting to pay to fix it. So we get all one time. And, well, because of what happened last year, we don't get the inconvenience in terms of the diverting of the traffic. Come on. So we understand that you have a mandate in terms of creating that level of ripple effect that you cannot control. But at the same time, give us a helping hand now. Give us a helping hand. You have made no significant aid in terms of ensuring that the consumers, when going to the gas pump or going to the supermarket, would see an effective change. No way or the other. No way or the other. Ladies and gentlemen, you see, we ought to be in the know, be in the understanding. We ought to comprehend things that are not written in black and white. We have to foresee things, you know. Here we have to foreseeing things with this administration. Because they are going to do things for the headlines, and then the rippling effect, somebody's going to get blamed. Somebody is going to get blamed. Grenadians, this is my clarion call, and it's going to be this until it happens. Let's give these fellas some time away from the job. Let's give NDC a vacation. Let us give NDC a vacation. Right? That's what they want. Maybe to recuperate, to rest, So next general election, let's give NDC a vacation. Right? Some may not feel the effect of the work or the job that they're mandated to do because they liming, they driving, they're outside more than anything else. So they're resting while they were supposed to be working. So we know they're also tired. But sometimes you need to send people on vacation leave just because. Yeah, they accumulated too much of days. Let's put it at that. They have not taken legally any holidays. So let me give NDC a holiday next general election. Let's put NDC on vacation come next general election. Things happen. Okay, fine. Okay, all you do things. So all your claims. So this is our opportunity on election day, next election, to give NDC the holiday form. Yeah, the leave form. So when you go on election day and you see the ballot paper, when you vote for the NNP, that is giving NDC the vacation. That is a vacation leave. Because they have been applying for it indirectly. One say he well up for the rest of his life. Yeah? So let's send him to enjoy a nice cruise ship. Yeah? Let's send him on a nice vacation somewhere outside of the Caribbean. Let us make this our new mandate. The new mandate is to send NDC on vacation. Let us send NDC on vacation, ladies and gentlemen. Officially, let us send them out on vacation. Because at the end of the day, if we keep them there and we give them a next term, they will be working tired. So if we find no slow, if we give them a next time, they will be born out, exhausted. Let us give NDC the vacation leave. And we're going to make it about 10 years leave, or 15, if all that. Because we want to take a long rest. Let's give NDC the vacation leave. Please. Yeah? Let us give NDC the vacation. We are tired. NDC is making us mentally fatigued. So with them being there, you ever look at children and the child making you frustrated? You're not frustrated, you know. Everything is good with you. But based on what your child is doing, or your parent is doing, it frustrates you. That is NDC to me. My government is frustrating me. And I don't like to feel stressed or frustrated. Let me send them on like a vacation leave. All right? Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, let me just say this. There is, the time has come, I shouldn't say there is, where we must put in gear our election plans. We want each and every one of you guys on board with us. Each and every one of you guys on board with us. Yeah? There is no other way to reclaim governance in this country than to go out and vote. Get registered first. Make sure your name is listed, and you go out there and you vote. And when you vote, remember, have the mindset that the Prime Minister is tired. So we're sending him on vacation leave. Yeah? We don't vote him out. We're sending him on vacation leave. Same time, things happening. Too much of things happening. Too much of things. We don't want to get frustrated with the things that are happening. Take your leave, sir. All right? With that being said, I know many of you guys didn't join me early, so let me play again at the end of the program this year. And we're going to see again tomorrow. Yes, same time, same place. We're going to be right back here. And we ask of you to join us as we jump into the year's proceeding and all that will be happening. I was your host, Royalty James. It was definitely a pleasure being here with you today.
It's a new year and the football action has begun. Royalty James, in collaboration with the St. Mark's Organization for Development and the St. Mark's Football League, proudly present the Andrew Monroe Knockout Football Competition. Mark your calendars for the kickoff on Saturday, January 17th at 7 p.m. at the Alston George Park, featuring 8 spirited teams competing for glory and close to $5,000 in cash and other amazing prizes. Don't miss the thrills, the skills, and the unforgettable moments. Remember, this event will be contested on Saturday nights only under the lights. Be there to witness the passion and excitement. The Andrew Monroe Knockout Football Competition, where champions are made.
The NDC administration failed in the first term, and they're begging for another one. Sing for them, sing for them.
Check, check, check. You know it's a beat to the bling representative for DJ Soulkaholic. You run the place, you lock the place, keeping it real all the time. Boogie and dance it straight.
The leader don't listen, so they divide it. They lie for the people. So many things they promise they go do. They say $700 not enough money. They go give 1,000 to them money. Soon as they get in power, the money program over. They go in the wrong way. One term in DC. They go in the wrong way. Cannot run this country. They go in the wrong way. They say the leader don't listen. They go in the wrong way. So they divide it in two. And here they say that they love the culture. The worst carnival we had in Grenada. 4 years now and things ain't getting better. And they keep pointing finger at one another. Carnival come and carnival go. Problems to pay price money, you know. They go in the wrong way. Mash up NDC. They go in the wrong way. Cannot run the country. They go in the wrong way. They say the leader don't listen. They go in the wrong way. So they divide it in two. They go in the wrong way. In fighting for soul. They go in the wrong way. Remind us of the rebel. They go in the wrong way. Behaving too ignorant. They go in the wrong way. And they suspend parliament. Unemployment very high in this country. NDC, send back the CCC. Teachers and nurses ain't getting salary. No proper medical facilities. Crime is on the rise, you know. Young people killing more than before. Yellow. They go in the wrong way. One term NDC. They go in the wrong way. Cannot run this country. They go in the wrong way. They say the leader don't listen. They go in the wrong way. So they divide it in two. They used to talk about corruption. That was only an illusion. The money they receive on the bank account. Explain it to us, they shut up their mouth. They stop the school feeding program like this government don't give a damn. Sing this song. They go in the wrong way. Mash up NDC. They go in the wrong way. Cannot run this country. They go in the wrong way. They say the leader too hardened. They go in the wrong way. So they divide it in two. They go in the wrong way. Change you want and change you get. They go in the wrong way. And do nothing for St. Patrick's yet. They go in the wrong way. Some people hungry. They go in the wrong way. Uncle Tilly don't want Venezuelan money. They go in the wrong way. All what they say about Dr. Pete. They go in the wrong way. You getting salary on time and food to eat. They go in the wrong way. Jericho must be turning in the grave. They go in the wrong way. Telling the wind of change to be clean. They go in the wrong way. Peace and scholar could tell you. They go in the wrong way. They fed up for true. They go in the wrong way. Don't mind persuade a tongue tie. They go in the wrong way. He and all go tell them bye-bye. They go in the wrong way. So when you vote in, use your brain. They go in the wrong way. Don't make that mistake and ball again. They go in the wrong way. NDC people saying it. They go in the wrong way. Uncle Tilly don't win in easy. They go in the wrong way. Yellow. They go in the wrong way. Yellow. They go in the wrong way.
Check, check, check. You know it's a beat to the bling representative for DJ Soulkaholic. You run the place, you lock the place, keeping it real all the time. Boogie and dance it straight.